The Bible, a revered source of spiritual wisdom and divine narratives, introduces a celestial figure that stands out as the most powerful angel, Michael. This archangel is mentioned in various sacred passages, playing crucial roles in cosmic events and celestial battles. His presence is associated with protection, justice, and leadership, often depicted as the supreme commander of angelic hosts. The complexity and grandeur of Michael, commonly referred to as Archangel Michael, in the Christian tradition, inspire reflections on divine power and the nature of the struggle between good and evil. Exploring Michael's figure in the Bible is delving into a domain where spiritual strength and divine intervention converge, providing insights into the fundamental role of this angel in the celestial order. In a tense war scenario where the clouds of uncertainty hover over a kingdom on the brink of an imminent massacre, numerous and ruthless enemy forces advance towards destruction. Hopelessness sets in, but in the darkest moment, an extraordinary event unfolds. A celestial angel, sent by God, emerges on the battlefield, unleashing an epic scene of divine power. This celestial being defeats no less than 185,000 soldiers, thwarting plans of destruction and ensuring the survival of the kingdom. In today's video, we will explore all the details of this incredible war. Get ready for a fascinating narrative as we delve into the turbulent setting of ancient realms. In the reign of Judah, amid this tumultuous atmosphere, rises a notable figure, King Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, who ascends the throne at the tender age of 25, around the year 715 BC, after his father's death. However, more than a mere dynastic succession, Hezekiah stands out for his deep commitment to the God of Israel from the early days of his reign. Hezekiah reveals an unwavering devotion to the Lord, initiating an energetic campaign to purify the temple in Jerusalem. Aware of the significance of this sacred place, he undertakes a mission to remove any trace of idolatry that had infiltrated the temple precincts. Altars dedicated to pagan gods are demolished, and idols that had turned the hearts of the people away are removed. However, Hezekiah goes beyond the destruction of idolatrous elements, he establishes true worship of the Lord. He institutes practices and rituals that reaffirm faith in the God of Israel, restoring the spiritual purity of the temple. This campaign against idolatry reveals not only the courage of a leader but also the divine influence shaping the destiny of the kingdom. Join us on this intriguing journey as we explore Hezekiah's extraordinary feats on the tumultuous stage of ancient realms. It was not just a mere formality but a reflection of Hezekiah's sincere heart. His zeal for the Lord was evident as he did not hesitate to confront deep-rooted practices that had diverted the nation from its divine purpose. His leadership not only shaped the worship in the temple but also inspired a spiritual renewal among the people of Judah. An intriguing story relates to a bronze serpent erected by Moses during the Exodus, as recorded in the Book of Numbers. Initially linked to divine healing, the serpent over time became an object of worship known as Nestin, instead of remaining a symbol of trust in God's power to heal. When Hezekiah undertook bold religious reforms in Judah, he made the courageous decision to destroy the bronze serpent. This action not only severed ties with idolatrous practices but revealed a commitment that went beyond an expression of religious zeal. It was a demonstration of unwavering trust in divine providence. By purifying the temple and abolishing idolatry, Hezekiah not only restored true worship but also paved the way for divine intervention in his life and nation. The Lord's response to this act of faith was blessed, revealing him as a God who honors those who seek him with all their hearts. Thus, the story of King Ezekias is not just a chapter in Judah's narrative, it is a lasting testimony of how sincere commitment to God can transform not only a king's life but an entire nation. Ezekias left behind a legacy of faithfulness, reminding us of the vital importance of placing our trust in God. At the center of our lives and societies, God reigns supreme. However, in the midst of a tumultuous political landscape and constant threats, the worst was yet to come. A period of turbulence where the imposing shadow of Sennacherib, the Assyrian king, loomed over the borders of Judah. We are talking about an era when nations were shaped by military force, and Sennacherib led Assyria, considered one of the most formidable powers of that time. The Assyrian army, known for its cruelty and military efficiency, posed an imminent threat to neighboring kingdoms. Sennacherib advanced ruthlessly, leaving a trail of destruction wherever he went. However, his greedy gaze was fixed on the pearl of the region, Jerusalem. Hezekiah, the king who feared God, found himself cornered in the face of this Assyrian threat. Seeking a peaceful solution, Hezekiah tried to persuade Sennacherib to abandon the invasion. In a desperate gesture, he offered a monumental tribute, mobilizing the treasures of the temple and the palace in Jerusalem. An offering that transcended mere material wealth, reflecting the depth of the desire to preserve the sacred city. Hezekiah was willing to sacrifice invaluable treasures for peace, aiming to protect his people and his capital. However, Sennacherib's response revealed the typical arrogance of conquerors of that time. Dismissing the offer, the Assyrian king openly challenged both Hezekiah and the God of Israel. His defiant words echoed, claiming that just as the gods of conquered nations could not stop him, the God of Israel would also be powerless against his onslaught. This affront not only heightened tensions but solidified the urgent need for divine intervention. What would happen next remained shrouded in a veil of uncertainty and anticipation. In the face of the rejection of his attempts at peace, Hezekiah turned to the only source that could ensure deliverance: prayer and trust in the Lord. Confronting the imminent threat of Assyria, he entered a period of intense uncertainty and doubt. The biblical account describes his initial reaction of anguish to the ultimatum from Sennacherib, tearing his clothes and covering himself with sackcloth, traditional symbols of mourning and despair in the Judean culture of that time. Hezekiah's heart pounded in despair, but his faith remained unshaken as the shadows of invasion loomed over Jerusalem. Instead of succumbing to despair, he chose to raise his cry to the God of Israel, taking concrete steps by going to the Lord's temple for worship and seeking God's presence amid adversity. Hezekiah understood that even in the face of a formidable threat, his primary confidence and refuge should be found in the Lord. Without hesitation, he sought divine guidance through the prophet Isaiah, sending a delegation humbly dressed in sackcloth as a sign of supplication. In this scenario of distress, Isaiah, chosen as the spokesperson of the Almighty, brought a divine message to the king. At the height of affliction, Isaiah, instructed by the Lord, conveyed words of comfort and a promise of deliverance, acting as a balm for Hezekiah's troubled heart. Do not fear the words you have heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed against me. I will make him return by the same way he came, declared Isaiah, conveying divine assurances of protection and supernatural intervention. The God of Israel would not remain indifferent to the fervent supplications of his people. If you are enjoying this biblical explanation and want to continue receiving more content like this, subscribe to the channel now and activate the notification bell. Don't forget to leave your like so that YouTube recommends all the videos for you. In a crucial moment, the faithful promise resonated in the heart of Hezekiah, like an echo of certainty amidst uncertainty. The city, once on the brink of falling into the hands of the king of Syria, now awaited the imminent manifestation of the God invoked in fervent prayers. An aura of mystery hovered over Isaiah's prophecy, which foretold not only the defeat of Sennacherib in his own land but also victory by the sword in his homeland. Hezekiah's trust transcended military strategies. It was a total surrender to the God who shapes destinies. While the shadows of the Assyrian army intensified before the walls of Jerusalem, the king's faith remained unshaken. On the following day, as the scenario darkened, a celestial chapter was about to unfold in the darkness of the night, interrupting the silence with the divine promise. The walls witnessed the supernatural intervention when a celestial emissary, enveloped in light and power, challenged the army threatening the chosen people. One single night, a celestial battle, and the defeat of 185,000 Assyrian soldiers not by human strategies, but by the supernatural power of the angel sent by the God of Israel. This was not just a military triumph, it was a miracle, a tangible demonstration of divine care. Isaiah's promise was not in vain, it was being fulfilled. The God of Israel not only heard but acted in response to Hezekiah's anguished prayers, revealing himself as the unwavering guardian of his people. What happened that night transcended human understanding, a narrative that sparks curiosity about the mysteries and wonders of divine intervention. With incomparable power, he acted to free his people from the Assyrian threat. Crossing the fields that were once the Assyrian camp, the inhabitants of Jerusalem were met with a haunting sight. Where the enemy army's tents had stood, now lay 185,000 lifeless bodies, a graphic testament to the divine power that had operated overnight. The silence that enveloped the defeated camp was broken by murmurs of awe and gratitude. Each corpse bore witness to the supernatural intervention that transformed the impending nightmare into an undeniable miracle. The faith of the people, who had faced a night of apprehension, flourished in the morning light, now illuminated by divine victory. The citizens of Judah not only beheld the remnants of the miracle but felt deeply in their hearts that the victory over the Assyrians was not achieved through military strategies or human strength. That morning became a living testimony to the faithfulness of the God of Israel. The fate of Sennacherib took a surprising turn. After his failed attempts to conquer Jerusalem and his mockery of the God of Israel, he returned to Nineveh. However, his end was not as grand as he might have imagined. While worshipping in his own temple, Sennacherib was assassinated by his own sons, Adramelech and Sharezer. The precise details of this event are not entirely clear in historical narratives. Nevertheless, the Bible recounts that during this act of worship, Adramelech and Sharezer attacked Sennacherib with a sword, taking his life. This shocking event demonstrates that arrogance and disbelief in the face of God do not go unpunished. The outcome of the story reveals layers of surprise and mystery, leaving us intrigued by the divine designs and unexpected turns that shaped this remarkable episode. Divine justice unexpectedly reached Sennacherib, highlighting that no king, no matter how powerful, can escape God's sovereign control over life and death. This tragic outcome reveals that mocking the Lord has serious consequences, and divine sovereignty cannot be challenged without facing repercussions. As for the king, after the remarkable victory over Sennacherib and the withdrawal of the Assyrian forces, Hezekiah faced a severe illness. The Bible describes this situation in the second book of Kings, chapter 20. Hezekiah became so ill that the prophet Isaiah, son of Amos, came to him and announced that he would not recover and should prepare for death. Faced with this news, Hezekiah once again turned to the Lord in prayer, reminding God of his devotion, integrity, and service. In tears, he pleaded with God to remember him and reconsider his situation. In response to Hezekiah's sincere prayer, God sent Isaiah back to tell him that he had heard his supplication. God decided to heal Hezekiah and added a sign as assurance. Isaiah instructed that a lump of figs be applied to Hezekiah's wound as a miraculous sign. Hezekiah's illness was healed, and he regained his health. Furthermore, as a manifestation of his mercy, God promised Hezekiah an additional 15 years of life. This extension of time was a direct response to fervent prayer and Hezekiah's devotion to the Lord. This story highlights not only God's healing power but also his willingness to listen and respond to the prayers of his faithful servants. If God has already manifested a miracle in your life, leave your thanks in the comments below, and if you like these biblical explanations and want to delve deeper into this content, continue watching the videos here on the channel that will be recommended below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.